Well, howdy folks, welcome back for another episode here on the 550. Back at the 9mm plus P 115 grain hollow point loads, ram shot silhouette, and CCI 500 primers. And again, plus P, so don't be copying my data now. You gotta work up to it on your own. So be very careful now, but you're all nice and responsible, so I don't have to go much further than that. Anyways, hope everyone's doing well. This is my first weekend off in about 3 months, so heck yeah, we're loading up some 9mm. Anybody doing anything fun for their extended Memorial weekend? I'm not doing anything but hanging out with my wife, so heck yeah. Except right now it's, 1 in the morning and she's got to work. So I'm the dummy that's up all late. Yeah. Gonna hit the range tomorrow. Not sure what to bring. I've got about 50,000 things to test out and play with, so hard telling. I might just load the entire car down and see what happens. That'd be silly, right? Or would it be freaking awesome? Might try out some 45 Colt and some 300 Blackout and some 308 Winchester, and I've got all these freaking 12 gauge loads that we've been working on. So lots going on here, or at least lots that I need to have making progress with, But I'm going shooting with a buddy from work, so we'll probably just be blasting and, having fun and doing some dude bro mag dumping and stuff. I'd be doing my own dude bro mag dumping, guys. It could be kind of cool. Haven't done that in a while. But I'm getting low on the 9mm, so every once in a while, dang, that was kind of rough, but there's nothing there in the way of it. Anyways. Yeah, every once in a while you gotta do some dude bro mag dumping. And I'm getting low on the 9mm because, well, ammunition and stuff. You use it, and then you need to replenish it. It's not really like I've been going to the range lately, but I just haven't freaking replenished it over time. Having been the last year or two, so it's time to restock the supplies. Especially because I've gotten 2 new 9mm firearms since, I have really been loading anything, so time to get to work. Kind of dumb to wait until you go to the range to start loading, though. Should just have the stuff ready to go, you dummy. Way to be prepared, right? No. Oh well. We learn, right? Yeah, I'm probably just gonna run through all these hollow points here, and if you can see, finish those off, and then we'll be done with this load, and then I'll probably go on to the 125 grain round nose 358 diameter, actually used for 38 special. That's one of my favorite 9mm bullets. I actually got them right here. Let me grab one real quick. Here, I'm over right here. Yep. Those were the last few batches, the Harbor Freight Black with the Ford Blue, and then some, what was that, Ruby Red with Signal White. Heck yeah. Those are probably about 130 grains with my softer-ish alloy, which is perfect for a nice soft 9mm load right in the middle of the road. Doesn't use up too much lead, but I do have the new Lee 147 grain truncated cone, so I need to prep that mold and start casting with it and get some test loads for that one going, because well, I need to load some big heavies, and I really like that truncated cone for the 124 grain. Ooh, sticky case, wow. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoy the 124 grain truncated cone. So I'm sure the 147 will be freaking sweet too. And that'll probably be 150 grains with my range scrap. Yeah, I just use range scrap right out of the berm. Melt that down into ingots, clean it up, flux it out, all that fun stuff, and then cast straight up range scrap most of the time. If I want it any harder, I'll usually add some linotype, and then maybe just a tiny little dash of tin. That'll help it kind of fill out your mold easier. You'll get more defined lines instead of kind of rounded corners. So if you like them real purty and straight and square and corners are nice, a little bit of tin will help that. You've seen some people just make a little nugget, might weigh, you know, part of an ounce or something. You just throw that into your entire 20-pound pot, and that helps with your flow of your lead. So anyways, the 147 grain probably drop about 150 grains for me, and that'll probably be a real nice soft load we can come up with. I like heavier bullets in the 9mm. The recoil feels nice on your slide instead of being a real snappy jolt of 150 grain or 115 grain. You know, it's more fluid and just kind of feels smoother. Probably get those cruising at, you know, 900 feet per second or something. That could be sweet, right? Yeah, right. I know a couple of you guys already have them. You've been casting with them. Some of you guys have been making videos. I've been watching. I might not get to comment on every one of them, but I've been watching them. But it looks like it loads up just like the truncated cone 124 grain, so shouldn't have any issues. I'll probably just use the same dummy round that I already have seeded out, and just find the powder charge appropriate. Start low, you know, make sure it functions and we're not too high on pressure, because it will take up quite a bit of case capacity. You can see this one. Oop. You can see these bullets are only seating down to here at 115 grains, but 147 or 150 grain is probably way down in there, you know, with that much body before the nose even starts. So you have much less case capacity, so you're probably only going to be 3 to 4 grains of powder, depending on, you know, your powder, of course. This silhouette here, I'm almost at 7 grains. Oops, did I say the charge weight? Don't copy that, guys. And it's a pretty dang full case for this 115 grain. So yeah, probably a slow burning powder like this with the 150 grain cast bullet. Ooh, yeah, well that's my case fill. You can't really see it, but slow powder, 3 or 4 grains of powder. I think that would be pretty sufficient. But I'll have to see what you guys are loading, so let me know. I could be wrong. Maybe you want something really fast. Yeah, there we go. Seeding, powder, size, and priming. Yep. What are you guys loading with your super heavy subsonic 9mm stuff? I'll be running it in, you know, probably 5 different guns. And I'll eventually build a 9mm upper. So that'll be sweet with a 16-inch barrel. You'll probably get a really slow powder. Real slow powder, and maybe get some extra velocity out of that, depending on the bullet. But if you're talking about 147 grain, slow powder, like long shot, maybe something like that. Unique would probably work really well. There's probably, you know, 100 different choices for 9mm powders that are appropriate for that bullet. And especially if I was going from a 4-inch barrel to a 16-inch barrel, those two optimum powders for those two applications would be very different in burn rate. Especially with a blowback design, which is what 9mm AR-15 uppers are, as well as the pistols, of course. So there's no gas, you just have to shove it down the barrel and make sure you can blow the bolt or slide back. So since there's no gas system, you don't have any bleed off, and if you have a slower burning powder, it should be increasing velocity the entire length of the barrel if you get a slow enough powder. But if you only have a 4-inch barrel, you need a much faster burn to make sure you use all of that propellant before it leaves the 4-inch barrel. Otherwise, you just have a big flamethrower coming out the end. That's why you see those big Magnum handguns, but with like a 3-inch barrel, you know, little snub nose, big ass fireballs when you're using 15 grains of H110 and the 357 Magnum. Or any of those, really. I don't know how we got off on the burn rate, but slow powder for a heavier bullet of the same caliber than a lighter bullet you want a faster powder for. Now, I'm just rambling here, loading some rounds. I'm actually, you know, I cheated, guys. I did about 100 before turning on the camera, and I was like, wait, gotta bring the fellers along. Some late night loading here. Gotta make sure everyone's asleep before we start doing this noisy stuff. And I'm really clumsy, so I'm sure I'll just like smack this tray. All these will go flying. You know, I do crap like that all the time. But I'm using the time I have to do the things that need done. Like load up ammunition. Because there's never a bad time to have more ammunition. Drop the primer. Actually, the first episode we only loaded 100. I shot about half of them through the new dagger, and they function flawlessly. And with the Hollow Sun, the 407, I've got the green dot version. Man, that thing's a freaking tack driver. It looks like dummy actually knows how to shoot when I have that thing on. And I take my time and actually apply myself. But as far as being able to get on target quickly with the red dot, that's freaking awesome. But I still have to work on the accuracy part. And I do have astigmatism in one eye. Remember in episode 1 I said watch out for steel pins? Check this out. See that stuck in there? It's not going to come out. And if I ran into that with my decapping rod, it would probably screw something up. So let me get that out of here and then we'll move on. So that's why I'm inspecting these, and also why I dislike the pins in the wet tumbler. So that's 1 out of about 250. So, see if we can't break that loose. Yeah, there we go. Looky there. Is that magnetic? Wow. I didn't know that the Dillon... yeah, we found one. I don't think it's magnetic. That's just gross and sticky. Interesting. Well, moving on. We removed the stainless steel pin that I said I put a note on. Check flash holes for SS media pins. That's why you take notes and stuff like that. Because if I were just trucking along like, oh yeah, look at me, I got all this brass. Like you should be able to do, but I'm a dummy and whatever. Got myself in the situation where I have to check them all. We avoided embarrassingly breaking our decapping pin, which I have done several times. But even worse than that one, how it was just laying across the bottom, sometimes they'll get perfectly stuck inside the flash hole that still has a primer in it. That's not what you want. That'll be a bad day. Wow. And as far as we were talking about burn rate and charge weight and all that stuff, if you're looking for something economical, obviously you want something that uses a smaller charge weight. So right now I'm using nearly 7 grains of powder, and if there's 7,000 grains per pound of powder, that means I can reload roughly 1,000 rounds per pound of powder. Okay, that's cool. But if my charge weight for the same bullet with a much faster burning powder is around, say, 3.5 grains, that's half of the powder per charge, which means you get twice as many shots, meaning you're gonna get 2,000 shots per pound of powder compared to 1,000 shots. And if you're a high volume shooter, that's certainly something to consider. Or if you're just a very price conscious person and you got into reloading to save money, joke's on you, you're not gonna. You might shoot a hell of a lot more, but you'll probably still spend the same amount or have the same budget or whatever. But anyways, if you got something like 700X, one of my favorite powders of all time, if I could only have one powder on a desert island powders, that'd be a sweet conversation. 700X. Yeah, one of my favorites. Use it for pistols, use it for shotguns, use it for cast rifle loads, or subsonic rifle loads, pretty much for any caliber, cartridge, whatever. Anything from big bore to 223 cast loads, or 9mm, or 38 special. 700X is what's up. Good for 12 gauge, 20 gauge. I'm sure you could do maybe a 16 if you can do 12 and 20, right? So anyways, yeah, powder and price and charge weight, all things to think about. But that's a pretty cool conversation. Maybe we could have a discussion on desert island powders. If you could only have, one powder for XYZ scenarios. Like if you said, what's your favorite 223 powder? Ooh, we found a good one here. I bet a bunch of people would say Varget, but you could have a good conversation about versatility and stuff like that for different bullet weights or different cartridges or whatever. Anyways, here's one with a flash hole. It's Sorry, with the media pin in the flash hole. Focus, there it is. Yeah, look, see, that would totally break off my decapping pin. So I'm just going to chuck this into the scrap bin. I'm not even going to worry about finding pliers and getting that out. But that's what I'm talking about there. So it's good to inspect your brass every time you handle it, folks. Get out of here, brass. Yeah, well, that's 2 in the about. Ooh, yeah, well, I've got about maybe 10 primers left up here, so 2 out of 300. It's not a horrible ratio, but it's enough to make you check, and I would have definitely broken 2 decapping rods by now, which is infuriating because it's freaking 9mm. You shouldn't be doing that. But the Frankfurt Arsenal pins fit perfectly into a CCI primer or whatever the heck these Spear law enforcement training rounds are. And then the Winchester, let me see here, what do we got? Yeah, these Winchester 19 head stamps. They were from like law enforcement training and whatnot. And they're sealed. They have had primer seal it and whatnot. So like maybe there you'd break off a pin or something silly, I don't know. But it's 9mm, it shouldn't be difficult to deal with. But I got the stupid stainless steel media pins stuck in it. Ooh, yep. All out of primers there. We got another tube up top. What's up? Plus 100. Boom. Yeah, well, there we go. Make sure I got powder here. Yep, gotta always double check. And we're primed. No, I gotta run that one up. There we go. New primer came out. Beautiful. Well, I'm just blabbing at this point, but thanks for joining me on this episode of Let's Refill the Ammo Cans. I'll bring you back here, don't worry, I have plenty more to do, and we'll probably have an episode 3 or 4 before I get done with this lot of range food, or apocalypse food, or who am I kidding? I'll shoot it all at the range. I'll just blast through it. These were just, I know some of you guys asked actually, they're called Blems. Blems from American Reloading. I don't know what they were, but there's like nothing wrong with them. They just have some little watermarks. And then like maybe every 1 out of 50 of these bases are slightly concaved. So they're loading up just fine for me. I weighed a crap ton of them, and they're right at 115 grains, so the weight's perfect. The diameter is spot on at like 3.5555555. So I'm not worried about that. They are actually jacketed hollow points. They're not just plated, so they're stronger or whatever. So they're loading up just fine, and they were cheap as heck. So yeah, once again, like I said, I'll just blast them at the range. So I'm not very good at hoarding ammunition. I'm better at hoarding components and shooting ammunition. I don't know if that's good or bad. I should probably be better at keeping minimum, X amount on hand for cartridges X, Y, and Z, but it all just turns into range food. Who am I kidding? And I just bought a new toy. Why am I getting toys? So many freaking toys. I said I was gonna clock out here, folks, but I just ordered a silly trigger, okay? It's the one where you go bang and bang. The bing bang one, It's gonna be a lot of fun. and that'll cost lots of ammo, so I better get better at hoarding ammo than components. Anyways, folks, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next edition of Let's Fill Up Some Ammo Cans. See you in the next video. Have a good one.